Welcome to Cooking with Dr. Sonu. Thank you guys so much for visiting my channel. Today we're making my soba noodle bowl. I just got back from Japan. I love Japan. Super wonderful place, awesome culture, and people are really, really good to one another. I love visiting. This dish is an inspiration from my recent trip to the island of Shikoku. We are using fresh soba noodles. So these are fresh noodles that have already been frozen. Really easy to use. These are going to cook in boiling hot water for about 1 to 2 minutes. I get this from Fujimaya in Bellevue. You can use dried soba noodles, but I think the flavor of this is more similar to the flavors that I've enjoyed in Japan. The dried noodles are a little gummier. Not a big fan, but definitely consider these fresh frozen noodles. We are also going to use a very special shoyu. Shoyu is like soy sauce. Wonderful umami flavors. We're going to combine this with some miso paste. Miso paste comes in many kinds. This is brown rice miso. You can also get white mellow miso. Use any miso paste that you have. Just make sure it's from a really good vendor. This is called, this brand is MUSO. Muso, I get this from PCC. I love this. Really nice flavor. We are also going to use a little bit of avocado oil. I'm going to start by adding some avocado oil in my little pot here. Okay, so we're going to use medium-high heat. Get this nice and hot. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the white parts of some scallions. So the white parts are in here. And I put a little bit of ginger and garlic. And we're just going to fry this in a little bit of avocado oil. Definitely use a neutral oil, okay? No olive flavors here. Don't use olive. Don't use any other oil. Avocado or any other neutral oil. Okay, I'm going to put a couple tablespoons in here. Two tablespoons. Okay, so once this gets a little bit hot, I'm going to go ahead and add my ginger, my garlic, which I have crushed in a mortar and pestle, and finally the whites of some scallions. So in they go. So as you can see, the onions, the ginger and garlic, they're cooking nicely. Some wonderful aromas I can smell. This is great. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and adjust my heat, which is on medium to medium low, as I don't want these items to burn. Here's my vegetable stock. I am going to take 1 cube. This is like vegetable bouillon. I'm going to put it in my measuring cup. And to this, I'm going to add 1 cup of water. Okay, next I'm going to move this back. Okay, this is probably going to sizzle. Perfect. Okay, so in total, I'm going to add 3 cups of water. One of those bouillon cubes, the ratio is 2.5 cups of a cube to water. I'm adding 3 because this will boil and I'm going to lose some to evaporation. So this is boiling. Wonderful. Okay, next I'm going to take my brown rice miso and I'm going to take out 1/4 of a cup. Okay, this is roughly 1/4 of a cup. I'm going to put it in here and just kind of whisk it. And just do a little bit at a time. Perfect. Okay, as you can see, the broth is starting to pick up this wonderful brown hue that is from the miso paste. So get a good quality miso, and this thing will start looking like a wonderful broth or a stock. Great. Okay, next we're going to add a teaspoon of my shoyu. Here it is. And just add a teaspoon. Perfect. I'm going to also add a splash of rice vinegar just for some tart flavors. So I'm going to add about 3/4 of a tablespoon of my rice vinegar. There it goes. Perfect. Okay, so I love to add carrots to the soup, but I'm not going to cook them too much because I want that crunch. So I'm going to add them in, and I'm only going to let these cook for a few minutes. I'm also going to add some sugar snap peas. Here they are. These are delicious. I'm going to add these in. I don't want these to cook much. I want that crunch. Your soba noodles are soft. I'm going to be adding some spinach. That'll also be soft. You also want to have some texture. So cruciferous greens are great. And of course, peas, anything with a crunch. In they go. Maybe for 2 minutes. These will cook. Okay. After this, we're going to add our spinach. For some color. Okay, and the spinach will wilt down very quickly. Okay, 1 more minute and this is done. Okay, so our broth is perfectly cooked. Good to go. I'm going to give it a little break. I'm going to put the lid on, okay? We're going to cook our soba noodles next. So I love using these fresh frozen noodles. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I'm using 1 stick of soba. One of these portions is good for 1 person. It'll be a bigger portion, but use 1 per person. So I'm taking 1 of my pre-portioned soba packs here, and I'm going to go ahead and add it in. Okay, now this is going to cook for about a minute, okay? So I'm going to put my lid on. So after a minute, we're going to go ahead and drain these soba noodles. We're going to drain them in this colander. Here it is. And I'm going to put cold water over these noodles so they don't continue to cook. Soba noodles are great when they're a little al dente. You want a little bite to them. You don't want them mushy or gooey. They're not desirable at all. It's been a minute, so we're going to go ahead, take this off. And I'm going to go ahead and drain my noodles. Okay, and I'm going to soak these under cold water, and then we're ready to assemble. All right, time to assemble. So here I have my soba noodles. Here they are. Soba is a whole grain made from buckwheat. Really good for you. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and take my wonderful broth and start spooning it in. Ladling it in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add a few garnishes to my noodles. Okay, so that looks great. The garnishes I love to add are some air-fried tofu. This tofu has been glazed with some mirin and shoyu, just for some added flavor. So I'm going to add some tofu. You can add uncooked tofu. I just feel like this takes it to the next level. Some more green onions. And I love adding some fresh carrots for crunch and, of course, color. All right, final touch, some black sesame seeds. Very Japanese. Perfect. That looks great. Now, I love my food spicy, so final touch, some chili flakes. These are from Japan. Delicious. I love spice. Garnish it with a little bit of chili. Wonderful. All right, time to taste. My favorite part. Okay. So, I'm going to try some of the broth first. Okay, so the broth is really, really flavorful. The miso paste combined with the soya sauce and the vegetable broth. There's 3 sources of umami, and you can taste it in your in my little bowl here. It's perfect. Definitely use a neutral oil. I'm tasting the authentic flavors of the 3 main ingredients. The oil just helps create a little medium to hold it all. Very delicious. I'm gonna try some noodles. Definitely buy the frozen, fresh soba from a good quality Japanese grocery store. There's a couple in our area. I'm going to try a little bit of this tofu. So good. And pre-cook your tofu. It makes a huge difference. I think this is a wonderful after-school snack for kids. I like to serve this for dinner once a week. Any type of noodle bowl. Japan is known for soba and udon. Most people eat it at least once a day. It's a quick meal in between lunch. Can be lunch, a snack. When you're taking your train to go run an errand. Noodle shops are everywhere. I really hope you enjoy this recipe. Super delicious. Give it a try. It's plant-based. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really appreciate all of you, all your wonderful messages. Thanks again, and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.